Hello, living boys. Today we will be going over the 5 most important BRIAR tips that you can know. Let's get into it. And a little bit more about me. I'm Grandmaster's BRIAR player, rank 1 BRIAR, and I have a mobile fire guide highlighting everything. Hopefully I can teach you from that too if you need a little bit more. Builds and everything, runes, leveling up, every matchup in the game. So let's get into it. Okay, so the number 1 tip is Brier Mechanics. What are they? What does it mean when someone says it? So obviously you're not right-clicking and doing as many, A clicks and so on as other champions like, let's say, Yasuo, for example. But your Brier Mechanics are shown by when you click your buttons, when you click your Q, when you click your W, E, and R. And that's what good Brier Mechanics are, is, you're not queuing to stop yourself from, your last auto attack, or if you, Q at the end of your frenzy running out, then you're going to not get your W2. Your W not running you down straight to turret. Are you using your W at an angle to hit the right target so that you don't get body blocked by a Malphite? Are you Eing for damage reduction, or are you Eing for damage reduction and damage into the wall? And so on. And that's what good Brier Mechanics are, and that's the number 1 thing that people need to understand, is that you do have an autopilot type champ that is can be linear, but you have to take these champs as far as they can go, and that's what good Brier Mechanics are. Now, the second biggest thing is that people are misunderstanding how the frenzies differ. So your R frenzy, you hit a target, champion, and you are going to auto path towards that person for no amount of time until they die, or you hit E. So you have 2 options. You hit E, or they die. Now, the difference between that is you can't get body blocked. If a Malphite steps up to you with R frenzy, you're going to run towards the person you hit. That's good. Now, with W, when you W something, you can get body blocked because you're going to target the closest thing in order of champion, epic monster, large monster, and so on. So they differ in those ways, and it's important to know the difference, especially if you hit R. So let's say I hit Ezreal with R right now, and then I were to hit W. Well, W doesn't override your R, so you're still auto-pathing towards that person. So the time that you would use W during R is if you need W2. Usually you'd want to save it in case you wanted to frenzy after the person that you hit R with dies. Okay, now the third big tip is knowing your build or which build you play. So if you watch my stream, you'll notice that there's times where I play Bruiser, there's times where I try different runes, there's times where I play Lethality, there's times where I play Lethality all day, there's times where I play Bruiser all day. So you just need to make the conscious decision. Are you going to be a min-maxer, try and learn everything about each build, and see how much it'll help you? So the thing is like most of the time, if someone asks me, hey, when do you play Bruiser? I play Bruiser when there's 3 melees, preferably 3 AD melees. That's when Bruiser's best to me. Now, there's been days where I'm just in lethality mood, and I play lethality all day. So you need to come to terms with that. Playing 1 is fine. Playing 1 is fine. It hasn't stopped me, and it won't stop you, unless you let it affect you mentally, of course. So it's big for people to understand that you can be whatever you want to be. You want to be a lethality 1-trick, do it. You want to be a Bruiser 1-trick, do it. You want to be a min-maxer, do it. You just need to come to terms with it and accept your fate in a way. Now, another big thing to do is know what you can do during your W. So what spells can you use? What items can you use? So you can use Q during your W, but it has the prerequisite of being in range, which can be tough sometimes. And then you can also, you can cancel W with your E. You can either tap E or you can full charge. You have things like Stride Breaker. You have things like Profane Hydra now, where they become core parts of your combo, and you have to think about where they fit. Like Stride Breaker, you probably want to use that at the start of the combo to gain the movement speed. And then Profane, you obviously want to wait till they're 50% health or less. So it's good for you to know when you want to hit your buttons, how you want to do it. Like Profane, you want to wait till end of Frenzy or right before W2. And it's important to know that you can flash during your W. If your W's taking you, towards this crab and you needed to flash over this wall, you could do that. Sure, it's tough, but you can do it. And people aren't abusing that, especially when they're under turret. When you're under turret and you got to reset aggro, sometimes you can just flash out of the aggro real fast, someone picks it up, and then you keep going. It's important to learn these small 1%er plays because they do come up, and they're sometimes very important. Now, the biggest contributor for consistent Brier gameplay is letting your team setup Rs. Stop doing full map Rs. they're terrible. The only time that you can do full map R's is when you have an alternative play. If you have 3 camps topside and you just shoot at bot, if I get the gank, whatever. If I don't, I do my 3 camps. That's the only time you can do that. Now, usually the best play is to do mid-range to short-range R's upon someone else starting a fight. It is one of the best follow-up ults in the game because people are either stacking to trade back damage on the person that engaged the fight. So if you were to say this Rel starts a fight, people are going to trade back damage onto her. Now they're not thinking about you as much, and they're clumping even to do the damage to her. So right here, as you can see, I don't shoot R till Rel does her combo. That's what makes Brier so good and consistent in team fighting, is if you wait for the right time, meaning they're clumped or your team has good CC, then you can always almost ensure your R. And that's one of the most one of the biggest things that makes you consistent at Brier is hitting your Rs, especially in good times like that.